Hello, Gareth here, and this is my watercolor journal in which basically I talk about what I did in May and some of June. So I'll try and do this once a month. Really, it's mostly just a record for me, and you might find it boring. You might, but you might find it interesting, and you can see what an artist does, an amateur artist. So this is all going to be done in one go. And so I've even got notes, but my notes are not very good, right? Can you read that? I'm not sure I can. But anyway, this month has been a little bit overwhelming. So I've got about 200 blog posts to write up. And I've also got to translate them into Japanese. So it's a nightmare. I've done about 90, well, maybe 80 so far. So a long way to go. And I normally do that in the morning, but maybe about a week ago, I just got this feeling I want to get it all done, but it's impossible. So it's going to take maybe about 9 or 10 months, but hopefully I can do it. But it is a kind of stress. So yeah, I've been dealing with that. Also, I went on 2 painting trips, and I will show you some of the sketches I did whilst on the painting trips, and they were really fun. And for someone like me, this is what painting is all about, getting out there and painting. But can you tell me this? Can you answer this? Because I don't think I'm a very clever person. I think I'm maybe a bit dumb, but why do people do this on videos, like talk to someone over there? Don't you think that's stupid? I mean, sorry, just my opinion. I mean, like, you look at people, right? I mean, don't you think, and I did this, and I did that. Don't you think that's kind of nuts? Okay, just, I don't know, let me know in the comments. Maybe there's probably something I'm missing, but I don't know what. So anyway, I better not lose my track. Okay, so I went on 2 painting trips. It was really fun. Those painting trips just recharge me. And if you are a painter, an artist, well, maybe a painter, then going outdoors on painting trips is really important in my opinion. Okay, what else did I do? I finished off a really big blog post, and it was about getting stuck on a mountain all night in 2014. So I'll leave a link below, but it should be easy to find because I did it very recently, writing the blog post. So I was really glad to get that one written, and I did some new paintings for that, which I'll show you soon. Really soon. I've got too many paintings to show you. That's kind of a warning, like most people are saying, and wait till the end because there'll be something amazing. So just to keep you watching, right? But I thought, why not try the opposite approach? I'm going to show you a ton of paintings. So maybe this might be a good time to stop and go and search for something else. Let's just try the opposite approach. Probably won't work. Okay, so I also did a watercolor lesson in real time, and it was painting a mountain trail. And it was the mountain trail of the mountain that I got stuck on all night. So that's, oh yeah, and I've been reading about Van Gogh. Let's call him Vincent, because he liked people to call him Vincent because nobody could pronounce his family name correctly. But I don't think anybody called him Van Gogh. Ban him. Ban him. Okay. So anyway, I'll talk about him later, so you can, maybe you don't have to listen to that bit, but it's really interesting. I'm reading about his biography, a biographical book on him written by a guy called David Sweetman, I think. He wrote a book on Gauguin, and that was amazing, absolutely amazing. I loved that book. It was one of those books where you never finish it. I mean, you just read and read, and it lasts forever, but you really enjoy it. You just get lost in it. And those kind of books are really rare. I'd love to write a book like that. It's such a joy. And this book's a bit different. It's a lot shorter, but I am enjoying reading it very much. The Gauguin one is amazing though. Highly recommend it. David Sweetman. Okay, so anyway, I haven't done my artist journal for a long time. So my fault. So is this number 4, number 5? I even changed the title. It was called Artist Update, but that sounded really boring. So I thought I've got to try to make it sound a little bit more exciting. So now it's the journal, the journey, the journal. So anyway, I've lost my train of thought. So anyway, I'm here, I'm back, and I'm trying to do it again. And next month, when we move into July, I've got to turn up and do this again. Maybe just for me. So anyway, I went to this river and where was it? In a place called Inukai. And well, basically I went to a place called Mia. And I was looking for a scene to paint, just very random. I had no idea what I was going to find. And then I came across this beautiful stone bridge. It actually had wisteria flowers hanging off the stone bridge, but in this picture I didn't paint them because I was too chicken. So you really get the whole truth, well, maybe, in this journal. And this is one of the paintings I did. I don't really like this painting, to be honest. I'll probably throw it away. Yeah. I think it's almost successful, but not quite. I love this glaring white light in the middle of the river. That worked out well. Anyway, I wrote about my adventure to this river and I did some filming and I actually had to walk in the river and it was very fun. And you will find out just what a foolish person I am. But being foolish does make your life quite fun. I will say that. And here's another painting and I'm really happy with this one. The sky is amazing. Background, mountain, hill, whatever is nice. The trees are good. Maybe this one is a bit fussy. I love this. I love the river and look at that light reflection. The only problem is a blue bridge. Maybe I should do it again. But I'm still happy with it. I've even got a big size version of that over there, but maybe you can't see it. So, and here's another go because I overdo it. And I like this too. The bridge is better this time, but this is not quite so good. Well, there you go. But I like it. And then I did another one. I told you, I overdo it. I like that. I like that. I really like this bit. I really like that. And the river. Yeah. Okay, and where are we now? Oh dear, I got everything a bit mixed up. Okay, but just a minute, I will get my act together. So next. So when I did my blog post about getting stuck on the mountain, I used a lot of paintings from what I did during that year, 2014, but I also added some paintings to embellish the story. Listen, I did a degree in literature, so sometimes I'm going to use these words, embellish. Okay, and they're basically mostly dark scenes. In fact, they all are, in which I try to capture the atmosphere, and they're mostly just from my imagination. So they're all very dark. I don't know what you think. Let me know in the comments. I quite like it. Yeah. So that's when I came to a glade in the forest on the mountain. So yeah. And then here's another one of me walking through the trees in the dark. I don't recommend. I thought this would be so difficult, but it's going quite well. This is one where I used an actual photo, but it was a daylight photo and turned it into a night scene. It's okay. It gives a little bit of the feeling. And then this one is a bit scary. Sorry, you might think Gareth is a bit of a maybe possibly dangerous person we can't trust after you see this painting, because I think that's a little bit, yeah, that's a little bit dark. Although that nose does look a bit stupid. I don't know. That's a bit silly, that one. But you see it all. Anyway, I went on a painting trip to, where did I go? Up to a gorge. So they call it a canyon, but it's only about 100 meters high. So I think canyon is a bit like, what do you call it? Exaggeration? Hyperbole? I've no idea. But I think it's a bit grandiose. Grandiose, yeah, that's the right word. But anyway, on the way there, I stopped and did this sketch. I think it's pretty good. It's a little bit fussy. Maybe I should have made the sky a very simple sky, and then it would have been better. But yeah, quite happy with that. And then when I got to the canyon gorge, I did this on spot, on the site painting. Yeah, not very good. Not very good. But you really, if you do go out and you do paint, really please do not get upset too much by your failures, because if you continue, some of those outdoor paintings will be really good, and you'll never produce anything quite like that in the studio. I think they have an energy, a life to them that you just can't get in the studio. So then this is in the studio. I think that's better, and I added somebody, a figure. That's my focal point. But I think this doesn't work because it's all, the eye is everywhere, right? Here, 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 here. There needs to be one focal point. So maybe sort of failed with that one. Maybe this is a little better. Yeah, not sure. It's something to come back to and improve upon. And then another one. I love these rays of light. I really got excited about that. So, and here's another one. So yeah, so I quite like this one, but it just doesn't quite succeed. And then different format here. I think this one is beginning to succeed, and I love the rays of light. That's really beginning to work. So at last, maybe some success there. So yeah, and I did one more, and I quite like that too. Yeah, and I'll just show you. Oh, and yes, I did this one. This was the other way up the river, and I quite like that. So you notice in the rocks, I made them interesting by adding different colors. So they've got browns and blues and dark brown, as well as shading. So that makes your rocks look exciting. So that's very important. I hope you can't hear the family. And I'll show you the photographs. And the photographs really destroy my paintings because the photographs are really wonderful. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? And you see these rays of light. Aren't they amazing? So a very beautiful place. Here's another one. Amazing, right? And then I found this river on the way. It was a bit difficult to get to. I think it's the same river, but about 20 or 30 kilometers or whatever before you get to the gorge. But it was quite beautiful. Yeah. So next thing, for a watercolor lesson, I did this. So it was this was a combination of two photographs. I wish I had them. Sorry about that. So one was like a scene of a cow and some grass and a very bland, depressing sky. And the other one was of a beach with an amazing sky. So I took the amazing sky and I took the one of the grass and the cow and I put them together and I made this. It's beautiful, right? I'm really, really happy with that. And then, just a minute, I did this one, which I think is okay, but not quite as good. Okay, I'm back. So I wanted to do this video all in one go, but then my family came home and I couldn't. Well, I'm glad they came home rather than never coming home again. Anyway, let's continue. And I think I'm on to this one. So I hope I said bull last time. This is a painting of a bull. And I'm quite happy with this second painting. The sky has some lovely colours in it, and the ground has lovely colours, that green and then that purple, and then we've got that blue. I think there's something really nice there. I'm not too sure about the shape of my bull. I like to think it's passable. I like to think it's fairly passable, but it's not great. Looks maybe slightly strange. And I love this grassy bit here. So there you go. And then one final attempt. And again, I love the colours. I think the colours are wonderful. And this is nice. But once again, I'm not so happy with the shape of that bull. It's maybe just a little too long. I'm not sure. But there you go. I'm happy I did them. And then I went on another trip, and this time to Inukai, which is right next to, is it Mia? I went to Mia a few weeks ago, and then I went to Inukai, and it was a really nice trip. And this is on the spot painting I did of a small stream, and the view was from a bridge, which, yeah, you could probably guess that. I guess it could be from a drone. And I did actually use my drone here, and I got some really good shots, so I'm really happy about that. But yeah, it was a really nice view, and I'm very happy with this painting. I think it's almost all of it is green, but I still think it's very good. Yeah, I think so. I think I like it. And then about 30 or 40 meters away, I found this scene further up the road, and we've got this like farmer's house, and I think this lovely curve with the road, and I think this is quite nice, and I quite like this fencing. To be honest, at first I didn't like this, but it actually was an interesting element to add to the painting. I think it just looks interesting in a painting, but in terms of just looking around at the countryside, I thought it was a bit ugly, if that makes sense. So I didn't think it was beautiful at first, but in the painting it actually works or makes the painting look good. And that was my really crappy attempt to basically say that it really helps to make this painting work. But when I first saw it, I didn't think it looked particularly beautiful. There, maybe I said it. And I did at home another painting, and this is the same road, and this is a bit further along, but it's that same bend, and I'm quite happy with this. Yeah, I think it's got quite a nice feeling. And presently I'm doing another one, and this was, I'm not sure where this was a bit earlier on, but this is around Inukai, and I'm not sure if I like this painting yet or not. I haven't finished it. I'm going to do some of that fencing whatever here, and it might really make this painting, improve this painting. And I'm going to put like a figure or a car on the road, and that will make it a bit better. I think this building is maybe a bit too blue. It was meant to be a white building. Whoops. But still, I like it. I especially like this. I really like that, and I quite like this. And I think it's quite an interesting image, but not finished yet. And the final thing, yes, so maybe I told you I went up that mountain, and there was one painting I did of me basically coming down the mountain trail at dusk, and I really like that painting. And although the painting looked good, I wish I had the original, but I don't. There were a few flaws in it, so I had another go at doing it, and I really like this. I really like the way I've done the rocks, and I really like these trees, the shape of them, and the color of the sky is nice. It's kind of like a kind of Stephen King kind of sky, right? And here's another one. Actually, this might be the first one I did, so I like that. Maybe that's the first one is the best one. So I got worse. And here's another one, and this was really good until I redid the sky and made this terrible thing. But I might throw this one away, which is a bit sad because everything else is really nice in this painting, but I mucked up the sky. What happened was I was using clips here, and so when I took them off it was white, and I tried to paint in the white area, and then it just spread and spread and spread, and then I ended up making this big ugly thing here. But there you go, it happens. And here's another one. Maybe this was my final one, but I like this. I especially like the texture here. I think that looks really beautiful, and I think there's something really exciting happening in this painting, but that's enough for now. I think I've had a good go at that, and it's time to move on. So it's moving on to doing a few more paintings of Inukai around there. So that's all the paintings. It was quite a lot, sorry about that. I'll try and be a bit more ruthless with my, cutting them out and deciding, what do you call it? That curating. Yeah, the brain, it still works sometimes. So I need to be a bit better at my curation. But I also like to show you some of the failures because I hope it will inspire you. Or basically, it will help you not to get too upset when you make a really bad painting. You'll realize it happens to all of us. I've been painting for 20 years, which is a long time, right? So I still have paintings that are failures, but I do eventually get the real good ones as well. And normally it doesn't take that much time to reach that point, but I'll still get the failures. So I hope that encourages you not to let those failures stop you. The worst thing you can do is get down and stop. When I do a failed painting, I always think to myself that often I learn from the failures. Often there's new things to learn with the mistakes I make. I hope that makes sense, but it's true. Also, with those failed paintings, you can paint over them again and do all kinds of crazy stuff over them so you don't waste the paper as well. And you just like move on and have another go. You look at your failed painting and you think to yourself, why did it fail? And in that way, you're developing because you're learning why it failed. And so you're learning what to improve in the next painting. And you're also learning, which is very important, what made it a good painting. That's really important. And a lot of beginner and amateur artists never really think like that. They never think, well, why did it fail? It can be very hard at first. And also they don't think about how can I improve it? And then finally, why is this painting so good? When eventually they end up with a good painting. So there you go. Goodness me, that was a lecture. I apologize. Anyway, I need my notes, my beautiful notes. And the final thing is, I'm just going to talk about my book, which is about Van Gogh. And just a few things that I've read that are interesting and want to share with you. I really do enjoy my evening time. I get into my bed, relax, get my book out and start reading about Van Gogh. I'll call him Vincent because everybody gets his name wrong, and I really doubt I've got it right. So anyway, one of the first things about him that was very interesting for me is that he was a very intelligent person. He wasn't just one of these arty-farty type people who was good at painting and did painting because he couldn't really do anything else, which might be me. But no, I was quite good at biology. But he was very intelligent, and I think he could speak 3 languages. So he could speak his Dutch, also French, and I think German or English. Maybe he could even speak 4, because I think later on he learnt English as well. So he was a very intelligent person. And also he could draw really well at a young age. I think he did a drawing of a rabbit. I should show you basically. And he was about 9 or 10 years old, and it is so good. I'm glad I didn't see that when I was young, because I would have just given up. I would have thought, wow, if he can draw like that at 9 or 12, then I've got no chance. But then again, it's Vincent. I'm calling him Vincent. And also, if you practice something, it's amazing how over time you really do get good very quickly. And you also find your own way. And just being really good at drawing, it isn't everything. As long as you can do basic drawing, that's enough, you know? You don't have to be so brilliant, but he was very good. And I think he was about 9 or 10. It was impressive. And then his first job, he was an art dealer. So very interesting. His uncle basically was an art dealer, had a huge company, very successful, and he got Vincent involved. But the reason he got him involved, and this is very interesting, is because Vincent later on went to a boarding school, and the first year went really well, but then in the second year, and there was a new headmaster, and he was a bit more strict than the first one, but nobody really knows what happened. It's a bit of a mystery, but something really bad happened, and Vincent had to come home. And I don't know if this was like some kind of mental, because we know he's got like some kind of mental issue, right? Despite being intelligent, whether he basically went a bit nuts, but something happened and he had to come home, and then basically that was the end of his education, and the other children then got money spent on them for education, and he got shipped off to his uncle to learn about being an art dealer. Yeah, so interesting. And also, final point, Vincent was not a modernist, not really. He liked a lot of the traditional art of the period, which normally was shown in this something called the salon. I don't know what it was, the salon. And that kind of art was that kind of classical kind of art, you know, images of maybe, what is it, like, you know, that kind of Greece or Roman architecture, and it's all quite stiff and very formal, and also spiritual kind of images. That's the kind of traditional thing. I think he actually liked that. But he also liked, I think, the Impressionists, but I will find out. I hope I'm not giving you misinformation here. Don't trust me. I hope that's not going to be my final word for this video. Don't trust me. So that's basically everything. Hopefully I'll be back 1 month later with something of value and interest to show you in the form of paintings, and also a few painting trips to talk about. Hopefully I'll be doing that. We'll see, because now in Japan we're heading into the rainy season. Shall I do it again like this? Yeah, different camera angle, guys. So now we're heading, shouldn't do this because I do have a rather big nose, especially in Japan. Anyway, my wife calls me Big Bird, but let's move on. Anyway, I forgot what I was going to say. I remembered. Anyway, hopefully there'll be a few painting trips. It's stupid, right? Why don't I look at you? So hopefully there'll be a few painting trips, but we are entering into the rainy season, so it might be difficult to get out. More recently, in recent years, okay, back up, Gareth. In the past, the rainy season, it would rain every day, like a gentle rain. But the pattern seems to have changed. Global warming? I don't know, could be. But now, basically, it will rain and then stop, and you'll get like 7 or 8 days of really beautiful sunny weather. And then after that, a huge downpour. And sometimes you can get a bit of flooding in certain areas of Japan. So it seems to be like that nowadays. So there might be opportunities to go painting. Hope so. And hopefully I'll have a few things to tell you about Vincent and maybe about something else. We'll see. So that's all. I hope this has inspired you and and given you hopefully a bit of a laugh. Bye for now.